I have a voice.
I have a voice.
My voice is powerful.
My voice is powerful.
My voice can change the world.
My voice can change the world.
Go change the world, young people.
This is Renee Watson. She's a New York Times best-selling author who just won the prestigious Newbery Medal for her children's book, All the Blues in the Sky. That medal is the nation's top prize for children's literature. She grew up in Northeast Portland and went to school at Vernon Elementary. Here she is talking to students there.
I was in the second grade at this school in Miss Tupper's class. I wrote a 21-page story at home. And I brought it to school. And Miss Tupper was like, wow, I think you're gonna be a writer one day. From that time on, I feel like till I was in the 5th grade, she would always check in with me and ask, what are you writing? What are you working on? So I've always been a writer.
The students sit tall as she introduces herself and reads to them.
Grew up in the Pacific Northwest, a place where rain falls more than sun shines. I'm from Douglas firs and pine trees, where we walk under waterfalls, drive up windy roads, and escape to the beaches on the Oregon coast. I'm from been there, done that, can and will do it again. Now you, tell me, where you from?
That's from Watson's 2024 poetry book, Black Girl, You Are Atlas.
It is such an honor to write for young people especially. Reading is an intimate thing, and they're spending quite a bit of time with me when they're reading my books. And so it means the world to me that adults trust me to come into their homes, really, and to whisper into their child's ear a story.
From the Gert Boyle studio, I'm Jen Chavez, and this is The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB about the place you call home. Today, how the remarkable writer Renee Watson inspires young Black readers to step into their power. To Renee Watson, Portland is...
It's a special place to me, and I often read the Beverly Cleary series. I loved Ramona, and I could recognize those streets. I knew Klickitat Street. I felt so special being seen in this book, where somebody in a book lives in my city.
Watson's family moved to Portland from New Jersey when she was 3 years old.
I'm from that side of town, where the media only comes for blood shed, blood wasted, never for blood restored, celebrated, or regenerated. I'm from hopscotch and double dutch, from hide and go seek and Pac-Man.
She's always been a writer and a storyteller. When she was little, instead of playing outside, she wanted to play house with her friends.
So I wanted to reenact what happened at church that day. I would gather my friends and say, you're this character, you're this person, you're this person. I'd get props, and we'd come out and put on full-blown productions for our mothers, who I'm sure were so tired of listening to our stories and us singing our made-up songs. And so it has always been in me to tell stories.
An early experience that inspired Watson to write about the world was the story of Mulugeta Seraw. In 1988, the young Ethiopian immigrant was murdered by racist skinheads in Southeast Portland.
And I remember our teacher being very sad about that and asking us to use our art, use our writing or our visual art to make poems, to draw pictures. We were gonna send mail to the family and just let them know how sad we were. And we were just gonna honor his life. And I remember I'm in the 5th grade, so I'm like 10, 11, and I remember trying to understand, but this isn't gonna change anything. I mean, I'm gonna write this poem, but it's not gonna bring Mulugeta Seraw back, so why are we doing this?
But she learned that she could make a difference through her art.
Sometimes this is what poets do. They honor the dead in their work. They stand up for justice in their art. They take a stand using their voice. I could use my imagination and dream up the world I wanted to live in. And I could right some wrongs. And I could say that Mulugeta Sarah deserved to live. And I could show his family that we cared, and I could show compassion. And I fell in love with writing because of that too. So in the early stages, I was writing just to entertain. Scary stories, mysteries. Then I started writing because I wanted to make people feel something, right? And then I started writing because I wanted to say something about this world that I'm living in.
And just a note for you, we produced a 2-part series about Mulugeta Sarah. If you're interested in learning more about his life and how Portland's anti-racist resistance grew after his killing, we'll link to those episodes in our show notes. Watson's first novels began as short stories that she wrote as a student at Jefferson High School. At that time, she was also writing about beauty standards, racism, sexism, and
the intersectionality of it all, exploring what that meant for me. And so it shows up in my work all the time.
I knew that Renee was going to be a writer.
This is Linda Christensen, Watson's high school English teacher.
She came in as a writer. To be able to be on the journey with her all these years has been pretty exciting as a writing teacher.
Thank you. I tell people all the time, like, she was my high school teacher, but she is still teaching me and mentoring me. You have read everything I've published. Everything that I have put out in the world, you have read it first before it gets published. And so I'm so grateful that you were never just a teacher. You care about the people who you've taught, and you've continued this relationship for all these years. And it just means so much that I can still mail you or email you now manuscripts that are works in progress and get feedback from you.
Watson tells the students at Vernon Elementary that she wants readers to reflect on being seen in her books, like her acclaimed Ryan Hart series, which follows a young Black girl in Portland.
And I wanted to create something for you all to see and be familiar with. Alberta Park and Albertson's grocery store, North Portland Library, and all the places that Ryan goes to were places that I loved as a young person.
A student asks her,
My name's Renee. What were some struggles that you had as a Black woman making the book?
So some of the struggles that I've had to be a writer and to be a Black woman who writes about Black girls is to balance our stories with joy, especially the Ryan Hart series. It has been really hard sometimes to say to an editor, I want to write about joy. I want to write about a character who loves to play outside and loves to cook and isn't going through any big crisis, any major issue. She's just living her everyday life. So I have really had to advocate for books like this to exist in the world. And then also for girls to look like Ryan on the cover. You'll notice with most of my covers that there's a dark-skinned Black girl on them, and usually she has natural hair. Or like braids, because I think it's important that we see our reflection. I want you all to be like, oh yeah, I wear that hairstyle, or my auntie wears her hair like that.
What inspires Renee Watson is her family, her community, young people.
I want them to feel seen in my work.
Growing up, her family wasn't wealthy, at least not in the traditional sense.
My family was economically poor. We were wealthy in many other ways. We had a lot of love. We just didn't have a lot of money. If it was a friend's birthday and I wanted to get them a gift, I couldn't afford to do that. So I used to write people poems. People would come back to me and say, oh, Renee, your words moved me. I read that poem and I cried. And I was like, what? And that's when I started to feel like the power of words are naturally given to me, and I want to use that to make a difference in the world.
James Baldwin once said, I love America more than any other country in this world. And exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. Watson says,
So I believe it's important to both celebrate and critique home, family, our world. I love Portland, but there were times when Portland broke my heart. I am Black, and I'm in a class of all white students, so how can I not stand out? I am big. How can I not stand out when I'm with a bunch of thin people? So in some ways, I was hyper visible. And then I was invisible because they didn't want to hear the girl from Northeast Portland speak.
Coming up after a break, Renee Watson's big break. Hey y'all, thanks for checking out our episode about Renee Watson and how she helps readers see themselves in the books they read. We at the Evergreen want to know, what book or books have you read in your life that made you feel seen? For me, two that come to mind are Linda Berry's graphic novel, 100 Demons, and Ada Limon's book of poetry, Bright Dead Things. What are some of yours, and why? Let us know. Just send us an email at theevergreen@opb.org. And while you're at it, you can also let us know what types of professions you're curious about. Who do you want us to focus on for our next At Work With story? That's our ongoing series where we ask people with interesting jobs your questions about what it's like to do what they do. And we are always open to new great ideas. Our email again is theevergreen@opb.org. And now, back to the show.
A Black girl gives thanks for the aunties by blood and by choice.
This is student Sydney Littleton reading Black Girl Gives Thanks by Renee Watson.
Who knew how to give warning by look or clearing throat or sitting forward just enough to get the point across.
And here's Renee Watson reading the rest of the poem.
I love our bounce back, our clap back, our backbone, our backstory, our comeback. We go way back. Our history dripping and damp from ocean waves. I love our resistance, love our resilience. I love us loving us.
In her late 20s, Renee Watson was a college student at the New School in New York City. That's where a door opened for her and her dreams of being a writer.
I was in college and was taking a writing course and going to school for creative arts therapy. I was in a class after returning from New Orleans. I had done work with young people there who were processing and reflecting on Hurricane Katrina. They had lost so much, and I went there to do poetry workshops with them. I went back to class, and our assignment was to write a story about children who've suffered and endured loss.
Watson wrote a story about 4 kids who live on the same block and their life before, during, and after Hurricane Katrina. Her professor asked to speak with her after class.
And I was like, this is college. We don't do that. You're like, why are you asking me to stay after class? And she says to me, while a classmate is slowly putting her stuff in her bag, so I think she's being nosy. So now I have an attitude because the teacher has asked me to stay after class and my classmate is being nosy.
And the professor says,
I really think you should publish that, what you shared today in class. And there's been a few other things that you've written and turned in for assignments. Why are you, what are you doing? Do you have an agent? And I was like, what? No, I don't, an agent? I never thought I would write for children.
That classmate who's lingering nearby then chimes in and says,
I'm an editor at Random House, and I didn't want anyone to know, but I really love your writing, and I do think you should get published.
This editor told Watson that she admired her work and connected her to the people who helped her begin her journey as a writer.
And so from that moment, that was the beginning of my journey of submitting my work, meeting an editor, and getting published. And so I say that in a moment, my life literally changed. I had an offer by the end of the week, but it began when I was in the 2nd grade. It started being nurtured in Linda Christensen's classroom. My whole life I was being prepared for this one moment. And so my takeaway from that, and that I say to young people often, is to do your best when no one's looking When there is no contract, there is no audience, you don't know what is going to happen.
Renee Watson's high school English teacher, Linda Christensen, says Watson was able to raise the consciousness of other students in the classroom through her writing.
And Renee always carried that kind of wisdom with her.
I don't think I would survive without my art. Even at an early age, art was the thing that saved me. Writing for me has been how I process what's happening in the world. And so regardless of ever being published, no awards, nobody knowing my name, I would need to write to survive.
Watson says paying attention to your characters is important.
My writing ritual is to ask my character questions. Who do you love? Who loves you back? What do you want? What is in the way of what you want? When is the last time you cried? And what gives you belly-aching laughter? When I know those answers, I have a little plot.
She says she loves the moments when characters surprise her.
When they make me push past my own stereotypes, my own assumptions, I need to laugh, I need to cry as I'm writing it if I want my reader to be feeling anything.
Watson says that when she wrote her novel, Piecing Me Together, which follows a young Black artist grappling with identity and class while attending private school, she struggled with knowing what her main character's big question was.
She feels safe and nurtured when she's in her community, and it's not until she goes out into the world where she starts to feel broken. I really identify with Jade. I think I cried through that whole chapter of just realizing that especially girls have that tug of war of being seen and unseen, being whole and broken because of our bodies, all the beauty issues.
Watson has now gone on to make a name for herself and sell more than 1 million copies of her books. And she has those amazing acclaimed stickers like John Newbery Medal on her books.
When I was a child going into the library, I remember always wanting the sticker books because those felt like the special books. I didn't really even understand that those were awards. To have books out in the world that have those stickers is an honor.
She mostly writes for young readers, but she doesn't hold back from her audience. She's written books about grief, identity, race, class, and friendship, art, and hope. Back at Vernon Elementary, you can really see the impact Watson has made on young Black girls.
I used to think I wasn't pretty. She taught me how to we are beautiful and we need to stand up for ourselves. The advice that I took was just be you, be comfortable in your skin. If you fall, get back up.
Those were students Kamaya Goggins and Sydney Littleton. Watson says sometimes the world we live in is not the world we want, but she can right those wrongs when she's writing.
I can change the ending. I feel very powerful as a writer to push us to dream and to be better and bigger than what we are.
Be bold.
Be brave.
Be beautiful. Be brilliant. Be your best.
That was Renee Watson and Portland students, reciting a part from Watson's Piecing Me Together. You can see a new documentary from OPB's Oregon Art Beat about Renee Watson, produced by Geneva Chin at opb.org. Or find a link in our show notes. We'll also link to more interviews OPB has done with Watson over the years. And you can read her next book, Everything New Again, when it hits bookshelves in October. It's a young adult novel about first love and finding yourself. Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. Mia Estrada produced this episode, and our technical director is Stephen Cray. Layla Isbell mixed and mastered the episode. The OPB podcast team also includes Julie Sabatier and Sage Van Wang. Geneva Chin and Cameron Nielsen did the interviews you heard. The music in this episode is from Audio Network. And if you have a question for us, please reach out. Email us at theevergreen@opb.org. And don't forget to let us know what books make you feel seen, and if you have any ideas for our At Work With series. I'm Jen Chavez. Happy reading. Catch you later.